Hey, welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. I'm just dropping in the post office to send out some packages, and I got a t-shirt in the mail from somebody overseas. I don't know who it is. Doesn't have a name on it. Ah, I know who it is. Rob Farrow. Got Outdoor Rob and Rob Farrow ATV on YouTube. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. This is a split I made a week ago, or what we determined that was 10 days ago, 9 days ago. And didn't know where I put the queen. We just figured out she was in here. She's now in there. These are all medium frames. We're just gonna split them off into these easy nukes, let them build out. They'll build off the bottom of these and turn them into some deep frames like you seen them do before, and I'll just use them for queen rearing. And then when the flow starts kicking, these will be on bottom. They'll be kind of building brood up top. If the frames are abandoned for laying, I'll chop the comb off the bottom of them and stick these back into some honey supers and move them up top again. Cracking open some brand new Guardian gloves.
2XL.
Yes, sir.
I had an XR before.
How they feel?
Feel good.
We're about to make some splits over here.
Here's the test. Do they go over the forearms? Oh, they do.
What size is that?
They do feel good. These are the 2XLs.
Fit right nice. Fitting over the forearms ain't no joke, because regular, let me see those.
Hang on. Compare the size of the forearms.
This is what most of them are on me. Those are 2XLs and these are 2XLs. I don't know who these came from. I feel like O.J. Simpson trying on some gloves.
Where's your white Bronco?
I wrecked it. Yeah. So do the right thing and go with Guardian. Don't be an OJ.
All right, we're getting set up, getting ready to start doing some splits. I got some hives. They're in deep boxes. Some are in mediums. Some are a mixture of mediums and deeps. So right now, I'm just prepping boxes and prepping frames. So I have extra frames ready to go in when I get into these splits. So taking these frames, cleaning the propolis off the sides of them, and I'm also, these are some frames that I had for honey supers, but I've got some mediums with some brood in it that I'm going to be using these to put into those splits. So I want to make sure that this comb was all cleaned up. I'll take this 13-inch carving knife.
There's my knife I've been looking for.
Yeah. And I'll take, when I cut this, you gotta make sure you keep your fingers out of the way in case your knife slips. But I cut up because of the angle of the blade. If I cut down, it'll start digging into the wood. But what I want to make sure is that this blade is cutting the caps off of this comb all the way up, because some of these holes are too deep for a queen to lay in. If you've got too much comb built out, the queen can't get her abdomen or tail all the way down into the bottom of the holes to lay eggs. So if you'll take these take these combs and just trim them off, it saves some work for the bees. It makes some frames more manageable for you, and it makes it where the queen can go ahead and start laying right in those holes.
Oh goodness, I got a gnat in here. So you need to do is swallow a gnat. So if you're supposed to be able to get one bee out or bees out, how do you keep them from not going in?
Keep your hood zipped until you need to spit, drink, cool off, whatever you need. Then you can open it up. Do they fit?
Yes.
What size are they?
Mediums. They're not constricted. I know some of his boxes today.
Paint. What do you use paint for?
What? Better not be painting my bee boxes.
I get that stuff out of there as much as I can.
She did. What color did you paint my boxes? What is that?
Wild hair.
What color did you paint my boxes?
Florida sunrise. And a light French gray.
Pardon me while I go puke.
All right, so we got some combs right here that the bees have messed up. And we're gonna make sure and take that off because that's just gonna mess up our management system.
Okay, a little bit of Guardian promo there. I know you're not used to seeing me wear gloves, but most of the time you're seeing me in a little single hive in a wall or a ceiling or something. Right now we're about to bust up some of this stuff. And that's different than making a split, so I probably will need gloves by the time we get into them deep. Nah.
When we start moving them, splitting them down, yeah, you need gloves.
Oh, I know. Yeah, so at some point this evening I'll probably be in a suit, gloves and a hood at the very minimum.
All right, so got a question about why I scraped this one all the way down to the foundation and not these others. The reason being, this frame here, they had cross-combed. They were trying to bridge comb in between two foundations, and we don't want that. That's why I scraped it all the way down to the bottom, and we'll let them start over again. So as in typical dirt rooster fashion, it's about 5 o'clock.
No, it's 5:30.
Oh, 5:30. We're getting started late again. But earlier today, I was in this yard and I went through this pallet of bees. What I did was, this hive, when I started, had one medium box and one deep box. So I went through and separated and put about 3 frames of brood in each of these deep boxes. I had some brood in this shallow box or medium box also. I found the queen in this one, so I've got her caged in this bottom box. So she can't travel around inside the hive. But I didn't want to pull all of these bees or these boxes off in the middle of the day because there's a lot of forage bees out that we would have missed. So we're going to come back this evening and we will take this box off, haul it to another location. We'll take this box off, haul it to another location. So we're going to make 2 nukes. And then we're going to leave our parent hive here. So we'll wind up with 3 hives out of what was 1 hive that was made up of 2 boxes. Same thing here. I had 1 medium box. Hey, Miss Nancy. Okay. Don't worry about it. All right, so this hive, again, started out as 1 medium and I think it had 1 deep. Well, there was enough brood in here that I could split off into 3 deep boxes. I put 2 frames of brood along with some honey, some pollen, and then same thing here. I split 1 medium box into 2 medium boxes, and I've got brood and honey in both of those. So later this evening, after all the foraging bees are back in, we'll come and split these 4 boxes off. We'll leave this one as a parent hive, and I didn't find the queen in this hive, so we'll put queen cells in all 5 of these. But 4 of them will be moved to different locations.
I just pulled this box apart. Some of the frames were propolis and wax glued together. I actually separated a frame, pulling it apart. There's the bottom bar. Right here is a good stack of propolis. I'm going to take that off and save it. Now we're in the middle of something a lot more important than saving a little bit of propolis, but can't help myself. I got to save some propolis. I'm not gonna do that through this whole yard. It's just this one chunk that I want. Bring it over here. Bring it.
If I trip on these bees. Needles out here.
This is what I keep it in. I've just got this priority pack. You can see there's some propolis in the bottom of it already. I'll add this to it. And when I get enough, I'll put it in a jar and dissolve it in some 91% whatever alcohol I can get and turn it into something to paint the inside of hive traps, or swarm traps.
All right, so this hive here has got some queen cells, and I'm just getting it up here in the sunlight so I can look in there and see if I'm still seeing eggs in there. Can you see any eggs?
I see larvae all through it. I don't see any eggs, but
Okay.
It's all full of larvae.
All right, so most likely the queen has already quit laying in preparation to swarm. I don't think she swarmed yet because I don't see any capped queen cells.
And because there's just a carpet of bees in there.
Yeah, the population's still pretty good. So I'm gonna look for the queen in this one and hopefully find her.
Okay, the bees are on top of this propolis right here. If you still want me to scrape it,
You can skip it.
skip it because there's a lot of them on there. It can't hurt the bees.
All right, so this frame here, we got some botched up work. The bees built off the foundation.
The entire frame. But it's a whack job bent
frame walked.
anyway.
All right, so we don't need these drones. We got plenty of drones, and that honey the bees can rob out, so we're just gonna discard all of that. But keep in mind, this is to be able to manage the hive. You gotta make sure that your frames are in good shape. And when I say shape, I'm talking about the actual shape of the comb.
Yeah, we're not just cutting stuff at random. There's a method to the madness. Hey!
Did you find the queen?
No, but I found her lair. The queen's lair.
All right, so for those of y'all that don't know, that is a cell protector. That is what's used if you're putting a queen cell into a hive and you don't want them to chew out the side of the queen cell. You put it in a cell protector, and that way the queen can emerge out the bottom without being in danger of them chewing out the side walls of the queen cell.
I can't find the queen. She's laying still though, so she's in here.
Where's Shawi when you need him?
If I had Shawi here, that dude, he could point to the box and the frame. Best way to find her is stir him up, and she's the one that's running like she's got a busted shock. She's a little slower than the rest of them.
Find any queen cells in here?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't look like they swarmed.
No, she's in here. There's just so many bees. Oh, y'all, where's Waldo, champs? Y'all ain't got nothing on a beekeeper locating a queen. Waldo don't move.
And the queen don't have a red hat.
Yeah, and you know what color Waldo is. You don't know what color the queen's gonna be. So we're making these splits, doing 2 brood, 1 food in these splits, and then backfilling the rest of this box with 2 foundations and the rest drone frames. I'm still looking for the queen as I'm putting this back together because I never did find her. And so this split right here will stay, and this 10 frame will stay right here where it's at. And it'll get a queen cell tomorrow or tonight. And if the queen's in there, they'll kill it. If she's not, then they'll mate that queen. Get the box going again. Right now I'm just adding brood frames, and I'm probably going to shake most of these bees off on these other frames because there's an overabundance going to be left in this one box here. Unless we're stacking them. No.
Not this one. We're gonna put this one in some 5-frame nuke boxes.
I got all these brood frames sitting over here. And it's not super critical that we find the queen, although we would like to, but in the interest of time saving, we could spend a lot of time on one box looking for a queen. And since we're gonna be adding cells, I normally wouldn't shake bees off like this, and probably I should get a box. Let me get a box. If you catch me coughing, it's my smoker blowing at me.
It's not the Corona cough.
It's not the Corona cough. It's the pine straw. That's
Pine straw virus.
hay that I was smoking. It's hay fever. So anyhow, what I was saying is, I could shake these off on these frames. Anything that hit the ground would crawl back up on these frames. They'd stay right here. I've got 7 or 8 frames stacked right here. They're not inside of a box, but the bees would stay with them. Instead of doing that, since we're going to set up some nukes right here, I'm going to go ahead and add this. We're going to do 2 frames of brood in this box. Still looking for the queen as we go through. And 1 food frame, and then the rest they'll get is empties. Thank you, baby. And then 1 drawn frame for them. See how they're running right here? After we just put all these frames in, there's brood frames in here, but the way they're running leads me to believe the queen is not in this box. So what we're gonna do with them, I'll check this frame real quick for a queen. This is another brood frame with some nurse bees on it. Shake them off. That box is done.
Yeah.
And it's closed already, so you want to take this and set it on the side.
Where you want it at?
Just right over there anywhere. Thank you. Here's our food frame. There's a little bit of bee bread here. There could be some laying in this side. I don't think there is, but there's a big pile of bees right here. I'm gonna go through them real quick. Just a last check before I stick them in. Come on.
I don't know. I can't see what he's got there.
Give me one of these food frames.
No, I got one in there already. This may be this is another food frame. We only got 1 brood frame in this box. I'm gonna pull another. Pick a card, any card. No, pick again. That's not the one I wanted you to pick. I was gonna show you a trick, but you picked the wrong card.
The deck was stacked against you.
Well, here's a brood frame, but wrong kind of brood. We do need drones though. There's plenty out here, but we don't need them as bad as we need worker brood. We're gonna stick this in the box anyway. Shall we, if you're watching this video, I want you to tell me where she was, because I know you'll see her. You got some more empty frames you want to put in here? Here's a good brood frame. Put a big old giant pile of bees on it. You're gonna pour off in this box.
You got some more drawn out comb over there? You need some?
I think I got some more.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed wishes he had comb that nasty.
Hey, see all the bees in that box right there?
Yeah,
Grab that box and shake those bees in there.
found it underneath the corner of the egg clump in that corner.
Thank you, baby. You got any more milk boxes? This truck needs to go through a car wash. It's a tad bit tacky.
What you got there? Oh, somebody was cleaning frames that had honey in it.
Yeah, and then I leaned in it.
All right, so we took that one hive made how many?
That's right. Don't be afraid. Just shout them right out when you know.
5? Or was it 4?
Yeah, I think we got 3 there, right? And 1 parent hive, 4. Okay. And then that other one, I stacked it up, and we've got 4.
Don't forget this one and this one.
3 deeps and 2 mediums that we'll take off.
Yeah.
So we took 1 hive, made 5.
I have got a bee crawling on my belly that won't go away. She already stung me, she's just still there.
I'm gonna make 2 rows of pallets and set them down and put clean pallets between them, and then I'm gonna move the hives over from the old pallets to the clean ones.
This is to go to California.
Going to California.
All right.
They like clean pallets in California.
Must have been something in the tone of his voice.
Yeah.
A deer!
Yeah, deer. I've seen a few deer down here, but I've not seen them in much.
Hey, we're here on a top secret location, and all that traffic in the background is CGI, so nobody really knows where we're at. Because we don't want nobody messing with these hives out here. I got stung right in the jugular. I had my suit on, but apparently I didn't zip up properly, because about a half dozen bees got up in there with me. Only one stung me though, the rest of them just trying to get out. So it was like, bad decision. It's ugly up in here. I got some some old wore out work jeans on. They're getting kind of thin in places, and they found a thin spot. So that's itching. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that little outing there. It was a little something different. I think all of you know I don't do any commercial bee work, and those were not my hives. Those were a commercial operation that was getting ready to go to California for the almond pollination. There's a lot of activity around this gas station. Got old man over here trying to rip the transmission out of his car, it looks like. So anyway, they had clean pallets that had been pressure washed and painted or coated, and so they had to move the boxes onto the clean pallets off the dirty to load on the trucks to head out to California. And so I was just hanging out for the evening, playing, having a good time, videoing, and wasn't a lot of manual work involved there other than laying out pallets. The rest of it was just, forklift and that little hand truck, little dolly. But it was just something different, something interesting to do, and maybe I'll get to do it some more. Who knows? We'll see.
You can't hardly get under them, and you can't hardly stack them. Because the forklift will go in like this, and maybe the pallet's sitting like that to start.
Oh, yeah.
What happened a while ago when I pushed something and it started scooting the pallet. The board was broke underneath the pallet.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it, but when the end of the fork got under there, it pushed the whole pallet. And sometimes there'll be stuff like that and you can't figure out what's causing the problem. Wear you out. Yeah.
I think it was another bent one, 2 down.
That one's on a clean pallet. This is really heavy. Between that white layer of white stuff and the fiberglass and the boards, tons of ladybugs.
Yeah, there's a whole, probably 100 of them bunched up here. Would you look at all the ladybugs? Getting a free ride.